A design this week should go production. Welcome back, Troglodites, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show, Gibson USA Mod Collection. This is the one that I think is so insanely cool. Advertised as an ES339 in Sage Metallic for $3,600, we have a very fresh take on a semi-hollow. So to start, in case you don't know, the 339 is different from a 335 because it's more so like the size of a Les Paul, so it's just slightly shrunken down. Typically you'll still have the F-holes, all the regular colors, but this one is onto something. They ditched the F-holes, they gave it this really cool metallic blue paint job, and they kind of made it look like a Les Paul Jr. just souped up with a TP6 tailpiece, a regular style bridge instead of being a wrap tail. But I love this pickguard design. It still has the bracket a 335 is known for, but it's screwed in up here, just like on a Junior. This should go to production. They're onto something there. Kind of just a different version of a double cut Junior. But I like how it's still fancy with the boisterous TP6 tailpiece, the binding on the body as well as on the neck. An ebony fretboard would have been a really nice touch and give it the small block inlays, but very interesting to have only one control knob and all the way up here. But looking at the headstock, we still have our mother of pearl stuff going on here, and whoa, that's an interesting piece of pearl. It's got a lot of dots in it. And the crown has a lot of colorings too, nice. But flip it on over to the back, and how did they wire this? Because you don't have a back plate, and you don't have any F-holes, so that means they would have had to have fished it through the bridge pickup cavity, which is how they normally do it. But perhaps that's why they decided to put the volume here, because it's a slightly shorter path to travel. But this appears to be a complete gloss refinish, and it had a hard shell case. And oh, interesting, one of the high gain humbuckers. And they threw coil splitting on it just for fun. I'd like to see a version of that for like $2,000. Because the standard base one's about $3,000. Maybe we could get there if we scaled the finish back down to satin. We ditched the mother of pearl. I think I'd be okay with taking the binding off of this model. Maybe even on the body if that helps. And you know what? How about we just do no inlays? Maybe then we'll have the budget for an ebony board. If what I'm describing sounds interesting to you, you might enjoy checking out the ES339 Studio from around 2013-ish. It's very similar to that, but we haven't had anything like it ever since. And I would like to see a slightly more traditional pickup choice. But these had these tenon covers over here because the tenons always just look weird. Because this is what a 335 has to look like. That's why they always have a neck pickup. But in my opinion, what they came up with here is a much cooler looking option. But now let's see what else they had in store for us. A blue chrome 335 for $4,000. With a name like blue chrome, I'm expecting this to have like a silver metallic undercoat, so it'll go from dark to bright, which you can kind of see in these photos. And then they completely gilded it out with your pickup covers, ABR1 bridge and tailpiece, as well as your knobs, with some decent wood grain. And then they gave us matching blue logos on the headstock, and then flip it over to the back. Surprise! Natural! For the back of the neck, and then a blue body. I really like the wood grain on the back. It reminds me of like falling into the abyss or something. But if you like the idea of that finish but want it in green and on a 57 reissue, that's what Metallic Mantis does for you. This is kind of a cool idea. A Mantis custom. Being a 57 reissue, you got the mahogany top, so you get all the extra wood grain. You've got your black plastics, uncovered humbuckers, with a really nice dark metallic green coloring. And oh, nice! Super 74 pickups in there. Those are some of my favorite out of the custom shop that they hardly ever use. And as far as the face of the headstock, looks like they reamed it out for some more modern Grovers, gave you the regular style truss rod cover rather than reissue, but we flip it over to the back, looks like Demo Shop Serial 128. And here we can confirm it is full gloss. They just need a little Mantis dude down here, and I would have bought it. And they also gave us a Moto backplate just for fun. And then we had a standard 50s in metallic lapis. It's got the same blacked out vibe, including your metal knurled knobs. They threw a Les Paul Customs pickguard on there just for fun and gave you a blue finish. But what is going on with that inlay? It's like some staining or glue on the back of it didn't really apply right, but even that fretboard looks kind of strange, like hickory wood. Yeah, even these inlays are kind of discolored. I don't see any mention of that, but I do see something else weird. Fretted with custom shop fret wire. Yeah, that one does not have fret nibs, but it does have black tuner tips. But all right, here we go. Now we can see those look like pretty tall frets. They should have upgraded the case to a custom shop one too, but the back is just complete blue. But now the lefties were included this week with a toasted gold perimeter at $3,300. That one's extra gold. You got it on the pole pieces of the pickups, but the covers were removed. You've got the gold bridge. Once again, TP6. That must be a running theme this week. And you got the black and gold knob to complement your black and gold finish. Nothing too crazy as far as the headstock, except for them playing with the tuners with more black and gold. But then you flip it over to the back and oh, okay. They decided to go reverse burst on the back and throw a stinger on it. I'm not sure if that works with the back plates. It needs less of a border to kind of hide that. And now they've got Fireblast perimeter. At first glance, this feels like a Les Paul custom. That is a finish and a top that should be on one of those. You also have the complementary pickguard, but you've got a P94 in the neck with the radiator style pickup cover, which is interesting, but then they throw the ultra hot dirty fingers in the bridge. You've got the real ABR one with your speed knobs going. And I'm not usually a fan of perimeter burst or tri-bursts, but this one kind of works because it's just the edge that got singed a tad. And you've got that matching red toggle switch tip. But then, sure enough, headstock full-on reissue mode, except for, again, the truss rod cover. But woohoo! Lucky number 7s! But it has the leading 0, so we know it's a 1960 reissue, and probably dates to 2019. But with the top like this, what does the back look like? Kinda surprised they just straight up left it alone. And hey, it does indeed have the 2019 medallion on the back. And not very traditional finish or not, that's not a bad price for a 60 reissue. That's gotta be gone. Confirmed. Next we got a 59 reissue 335 in Scarlet Point Sparkle. It's sparkly, it's scarlet. You've got pole pieceless pickups, which are described as custom Bucker Alnico 2s. It's the matching back with a natural mahogany neck, but this is fancy demo shop serial 135. This one's kind of interesting. The metallic pelham top. For 32, the blue and cream plays exceptionally well with each other, but you've got kind of reddish looking knobs. Perhaps that's there to accentuate the red streakiness in our fretboard. Or maybe it's because the entire back of the guitar is red. I like it. It actually works pretty well, and you've got some cool chatoyant effect going on. Cream back plates historically don't work that great, but on this one, it's fine. As far as the face of the headstock, everything's good. But yeah, there's that side angle profile shot, the red and blue. Personally, I was a fan of that one. But at the time of recording, still available. And those are the Pickup Shop exclusive 57 Classics in double cream. And then lastly, they went super dark with metallic maroon. It's a 60 reissue and very pricey, $6,300. But let's see, what did they do? It's like a really dark ruby red gloss with some metallic underneath. But you do not have the pickguard holes, so that's a plus for some people. You've got dirty fingers humbuckers. Those are very hot, usually not found in reissues. And you've got your regular nickel hardware with upgraded speed knobs with that reddish orange tint. They reamed out the headstock for modern Grovers, gave you Gibson USA style truss rod cover, did not put the Les Paul model decal back. And then we have like this half-heartedly aniline dyed back. But it looks like this one is number 138. But now let's see what the UK mod collection has in store for us. My favorite this week was Teal Shark Satin. I vaguely remember something similar to this with a similar name, so I'm not sure if this one's actually new or not. But it's a nice dark blue color, you've got your dirty fingers in the bridge, and you've got that nice aged nickel neck pickup cover. But then they follow it up with the straight up dark blue headstock with a new black Gibson decal, and then straight blue on the back. There's an Access Custom for $6,000. Advertised as Midnight Sparkle. And I suppose if you zoom in there, you can see the reflection of your arm. You can see some of the sparkliness. But wow, even in the super ultra bright photos, that's still a very dark sparkle. But it looks like this finish adorns the entire guitar, top, back, and sides. And being an Access Custom, that means you get the Apex head carve and your comfy cuts and swoops. But then Lipstick Red SG Special, €1,700. It's kind of a red color with the plain black pickguard, uncovered pickups. This thing looks like one of the cheaper models. I'm betting it's one of the older ones. Yeah, over a decade old, 2013. But I would argue it looks a little bit better in this photo. But now we've got Satin Eggplant Modern Studio for €2,200. There is a deep purple Gibson.com exclusive version of this guitar now, so kind of stole the thunder of this one, but it is a different hue. It's just a nice dark aubergine color, but remember, these do have the black binding on the neck. And okay, the back also matches. And to be fair, the dark purple burst only has an ebony back, and it is just that, a burst paint job. whereas our vegetable friend here is just straight up dark purple. And you can't see any wood grain, so they could coexist. There was a Les Paul Modern in Cobalt Burst. 3,400 euros gets you this. Cream plastics, no pick guard, regular black speed knobs with a pretty decent top. But being a Modern, it means you get real mother of pearl trapezoid inlays if you're into that, with an ebony fretboard. That's a good angle for the top, as is this one. Now if you're wondering why we don't have fret nibs on this particular model, that's because it doesn't normally have it. And it's a little bit hard to see at first, but the back does appear to be blue. I'm going to adjust the contrast and then you'll get to see the rest of it. But now we can move over to the demo shops. Only the USA had new offerings this week, and they had a pretty good amount of stuff. I'll let you go ahead and take a quick little gander here before I cover the ones that ultimately stood out to me personally. One of the sold ones was a 54 Custom. Those are cool because, hey, 54 Custom. But then there was this SG Modern for 1900. The black finish works incredibly well with that, even with the uncovered humbuckers. Just has a really dark, grungy vibe to it. But then look at this, one of the Charlie Star Les Paul Juniors. I did get one. We're going to review it this week, so that's all I'm going to say. But someone got lucky here. And then check this out, Faded Pelham Blue VOS Custom. It looks like they were experimenting yellowing over a Pelham Blue, and it was just kind of uneven. But historically, there just really haven't been Pelham Blue Les Paul Customs. You don't have that in the 50s. The Les Paul pretty well took a break in the 60s. 70s, I'm not aware. Like you maybe, just maybe, could find a Bahama Blue that's aged similarly. And then of course there's custom orders in all eras. But whoa, okay, maybe that's why it ended up in the demo shop. Something with the finish right there during the installation of tuners. Cool serial number alert. But then I saw the demo shop doing something new. So this is just a regular Les Paul Studio Smokehouse Burst, one of the old versions. But it says modified with push-pull. However, this model usually came with that. I'm not sure what CPA stands for. Did they hand wire it? But anyways, here was another time that came in handy. Like 335, sometimes these things just sit. People don't realize what they changed to make sense out of their price. This one says modified with custom buckers. You don't normally get that in the Gibson USA 335. As far as 59 reissues go, I thought this Lemon Burst was pretty nice. You get a little over $1,000 off. You just have to live with the demo stamp on the back. But then I really like this dark bourbon fade. Similar deal price-wise, but it's a little bit more of a unique top. Maybe not everybody would love it, but I can just tell that one's gonna dance in person. That's nearly a pickguard off kind of guitar for me. But now get ready for this modded 56 reissue. 4,200, I mean, it is what it is out of the demo shop, but they gave you black plastics over your P90s, ditched the pickguard, gave you speed knobs. But no, where things get really strange for this one actually comes to the face of the headstock. This looks so strange. So in the mid-50s, there is such the thing as the low Gibson logo. That's just kind of how it is. It's an acquired taste, but it is backed up in history. But what's not backed up in history is not having the Les Paul model silkscreen. So when they remove that and black out your truss rod cover, it just makes it look so strange. But then there was a 57 reissue in sapphire blue. And to make matters even better, you got some really cool wood grain on this example. And then lastly, a regular Gibson ES345, but done up with gold hardware. Alright, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.